This demonstration showcases how Microsoft Defender streamlines vulnerability management to help organizations identify, assess, and remediate security risks across endpoints and servers. Using integrated threat and vulnerability management, or TVM capabilities, it provides real-time insights into misconfigurations, missing updates, and known exploits. Security teams can prioritize remediations based on risk exposure, integrate with Microsoft Intune or MECM, Microsoft Endpoint Configuration Manager, for automated patching, and track progress through actionable dashboards. By leveraging Defender's intelligent threat signals and integration with the broader Microsoft Defender suite, organizations can proactively reduce attack surfaces and strengthen their overall security posture. In the previous objective for the CISSP certification exam, we talked about vulnerability management. So I want to take this opportunity to discuss vulnerability management from an operation perspective so that we can put in practice, that we can put to work those concepts that we discussed in that lesson. So if you have not watched the previous presentation on this course, I would recommend that you do that, because then this would make more sense. Now, there are many products out there that you can use to work with vulnerability management, and there are a lot of other products that are more I would say better well known than the Microsoft Defender when it comes to vulnerability management. But since we just want to explain those concepts in a tangible way so that you can see in actions what this is all about, I have here the Microsoft Defender portal. If you use Microsoft Defender, if you know what it is, it's Microsoft Defender is a suite of cybersecurity products from Microsoft. But in this specific moment, and again, so this portal, you go to security.microsoft.com. Obviously, you need to have this configured. You need to have the licensing and everything in that nature to be able to. So I don't expect many people to actually ever seen this or work with this at all. But it doesn't really matter because we just want to explain this concept. But anyway, so in this section over here, if we click on endpoints, under endpoints, we have what is called vulnerability management. And vulnerability management, then it's divided into several sections like dashboard, recommendations, remediation, inventories, weaknesses, and event timelines. And so this is a quick tutorial about vulnerability management using this product. But obviously, you may be familiar with another product. You don't actually, of course, have to use any Microsoft product to do something like this. But anyway, so when we go to the dashboard, in the dashboard, you get at a glance what's going on. So first, you get the organization exposure score. So this will tell you, how well prepared compared to other organizations and your organization is. In this case, this is only 66 out of 100 in this environment, which is not that great. It's a passing score if you think of it, but it's not really great. So that means that there are a lot of rooms for improvement in this environment. So here you see the score, and if you want to see how to improve the score, you can click on this, and there are going to be recommendations we will see in a little bit. But here you'll see the top security recommendations, and one of them is that we should upgrade. When you put the mouse on top of it, you hover, you'll see a description, and it says update Microsoft Windows 10 OS build. So that means that there is a newer version of Windows 10 that I should update, that it's not up to date in this case. I also see stuff related to Google Chrome. Google Chrome is famous for vulnerabilities, right? And I also have a piece of software protocol, VirtualBox for virtual machines. It's from Oracle, so it says update Oracle VN VirtualBox. So those three are the biggest problems. Now, there's a lot more. If you click on, show more, then it'll give you the whole list. But I don't even want to get there because this is a very high level overview. Here is your score for devices. So this is the score for the entire environment. Now this is divided into devices. Here we have the applications. So I have, that means that, it's only 8 out of 42. So there's a lot of applications that I need to upgrade. OS, network accounts, and security control. So this is kind of like broken down now into pieces so that you can see what's going on in your environment. And again, if you click on improve a score, you're going to go back into the recommendations, and it's going to tell you the sort of things that you should do. Here is the exposure distribution. Now, I don't have many things here because this is based on the devices on your environment. I only have 2 devices in this environment, so you won't see much of it there. Remediation activities again. So when we go to remediation, we'll see that in more detail. Top vulnerable software, which we just talked about that. And this is really important. So if you hover over this little, this is what is called Threat Insights. So it says here on Threat Insights that a verified remote code execution exploit is publicly available for one or more weaknesses related to this software. And a known threat is associated with one or more weaknesses. So again, so that means that that's really bad. And actually, so if I go to threat intelligence, this is really nice. So if I go to threat intelligence and then I go to threat analytics, so I can come over here, and so these are the latest threats. It talks about the different actors and techniques that are being used, a whole bunch of things, high impact threats, and all that kind of stuff. But notice that it says here that all of this latest threats that it's out there in the wild, 0 out of 0 is impacting me. So you can come over here, and if your environment is being impacted, if let's say for example that there is an exploit that it's so if you want to see if something's really affecting your environment, then threat analytics, it's a great place to come, and we'll come back later on for other things over here, but this is really cool, right? So even though I have a lot of vulnerabilities and things that I should improve in my environment, but at least nothing is happening to me right now. Like there's no exploit. Somebody's not actually inside my company or some, doing some really bad stuff. So you could see that. And again, regardless whether you have an environment with 10, 100, 1,000, 100,000, a million devices, you see this nice overview of what's going on in your environment. Now, going back to vulnerability management. We were in the dashboard, and again, so you can see all that kind of stuff. Now, if we go to recommendations, you're going to see all the recommendations that that you should take care of. So here are all the software: update Windows 10, Google Chrome, Oracle VirtualBox. Microsoft Office, 7-zip, Microsoft Edge. Again, all of these are weaknesses that are in this environment that I should take care of. So whatever solutions I use to update my environment, whether it is MECM, the Microsoft Endpoint Configuration Management, or WSOS, or any other third-party solution that you use to update your environment. Now, this is just a home lab. So this is my home environment, my home lab. So I could just basically go in and update each of this software individual, or there's actually even open source software for free that you can use for something so small that would update all of these things at the same time. But anyway, so you should always go, according to the highest risk. So when you see that thread inside those little red bugs over there, that means it's big. You should take care of those first. All right. If I go to the remediation piece over here, here I will see activities. This is, for example, I created this activity, attention, require vulnerabilities. So this is a note that I put, a ticket that I created. So if anyone in my environment, so let's say I have a company, I can create this remediation recommendation to people to take actions on that, right? And even though this is medium, I would probably start with the highest uh, recommendation first. Here you have exceptions. If you have any block applications, if you want to block any applications and you have the license, and I don't have the license for this. This is an extra license, but I could begin a trial if I wanted to. But you could actually block applications with Microsoft Defender. You can create a block list of applications, right? So that those applications do not affect your environment. Anyway, so that would be here. If I go to inventories, here is an inventory of all the software in my environment. Remember, this is not just the computer where I'm at right now. We're talking about the environment. So whether you have 1, 2, 3, 7, 100, 700,000 computers, uh, whether those are Windows clients, Windows Server, Linux servers, because Microsoft Defender supports Linux as well. Everything will be listed here, and then you can go ahead and work with the most critical things first. And here is the number of points that you will improve if you resolve those issues there. And then if you want to see vulnerable components again, these are some vulnerable components that if you solve some of these, then a lot of weaknesses will be solved. Like for example, OpenSSL, there are actually 25 weaknesses that you could solve all at once. All right. Now, if we go to the weaknesses per se, then here we'll go to the CVEs, the common vulnerability exposure that we have talked about in this class, and we will continue to talk. So this CVE, there's kind of like a government sponsor, if you want to call it. There's a database of all the vulnerabilities that it's out there, right? So CVE 258901, it's about Chrome. And there's actually, if you look at the 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 CVSS, you'll see that this is kind of like a measure of how high it is, and this is out of 10. So 8 out of 10, this is high. The highest is critical, which is like 9 and 10. But anyway, so you can come over here. The great thing about this is you can come over here. This will give you information about this thing, and you can go to recommendation and how to do that. But one of the coolest feature is that you could click on exposed devices, and then you can see a list of the devices that are affected by this CVE. So in this case, I only have 2 devices. I have a Precision 7510, which is a laptop with Windows 10, and I have a Dell Dell desktop in this lab environment, which also has Windows 10. And this is the reason why it has a lot of stuff, because Windows 10 is actually vulnerable. There's a lot of stuff, and it's coming to an end in October. What that means is that if you have Windows 10 computers, I hope if you have a big company, you should have started planning for this, a long time ago. If you have a couple of computers, then it's easy to upgrade those. But anyway, so that's really um, useful. And then if you want to see the affected software, again, this is all about Google Chrome for Windows, for Mac OS, for Linux, because Google Chrome is just a browser, so it doesn't matter what OS you've got. Again, so that's what the weakness is about. And then finally, if we go to the event timeline, so we'll see an event, here to this date, so that you can see. So if you start resolving things, obviously the timeline will be reduced. But anyway, so this is that timeline over there. And then here you see the new vulnerabilities. If there is a new zero-day vulnerability out there, you'll see that over there. There are 3 exploitable vulnerabilities, and those are the first one that we saw that, right? That you should take care of, first. And so that in a nutshell is vulnerability management with Microsoft Defender. Again, there's a number of products out there, whether it is Nexus Tenable, which is very popular and famous. There is Rapid 7 and a whole bunch of other uh, OpenVAS, which is an open source vulnerability management systems and scanner that you can use. But the whole point of this uh, demo, this demonstration, is to explain the concept of vulnerability management, which is, again, it's one of the most important topic in cybersecurity. So you have to make sure that you manage those vulnerabilities, and you have to make sure that your software it's up to date. A lot of the cybersecurity breaches that happens in a daily basis out there, and very high profile vulnerabilities, rather cybersecurity incidents and breaches are related to vulnerability. So vulnerability management, again, is an extremely important topic, not only for the CISSP certification exam, but also in the real world.